Okay.
And I'll make sure it shows up on our timeline here. Are you seeing it on your
See, it says the content of this meeting is being sent to Facebook, but I don't see anybody here to see us.
Well, that's okay. We're gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
And then I'll edit it once it's on, once it shows up.
Sorry. Delivery's coming. I apologize.
Sure, what? Setting up your Facebook. And make sure it's on here. Oh, it's not coming on. Good thing it's just the two of us right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning. And I do know how to edit the beginning and end of these. I just don't know how to edit in between.
Okay.
I don't want to. You see what I'm doing?
I saw Facebook went away.
Yeah, okay, live on Facebook.
Might ask you to teach me how to do that.
After this, I don't know if you want to know how to do it now. Disability. Never mind. Let's see what happens this time. Well, if anything, we'll have the recording.
Sure.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start.
All right.
Hello, everybody. I'm so glad that you could join us today. It's a topic I'm really excited about it because we have families and friends who really struggle during the holiday season or going to any gathering. So I just felt like it was really important to maybe touch on some topics this week in half-hour increments. And hopefully we'll be covering planning ahead, gift ideas, um, uh, preparing for a trip, food, type of gifts, all those kind of things. So it's going to be more of a conversation format. And so I'm Deb with the Center for Disability Empowerment. I am what am I? A transition coordinator and a community connector. I'm also a sibling and a parent of a person with lived experience, as well as my being hearing impaired. So I'm so grateful you joined us today. So I want to introduce you to Tracy Mans. And Tracy is a parent, but she's also the project manager for the Family Resource Network of Ohio, or otherwise frno.org. So Tracy, let's just start on the thing that's really the biggest thing is how do you prepare or come up with a plan before you get into the holidays?
Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate you letting me join you today. I think I want to say first and foremost that I think this planning piece is the best way to try and ease stress as we go through the holidays. One of the things that I found helpful is to prepare my family members and friends where I might be bringing my autistic child, um, for what they could expect and how to best support my child. Um, I think sometimes people, they hear that someone in my child's case has autism, and they don't know what that means. They don't know how to interact with that child. So I utilized a tool called a one-page person-centered description. It's a charting the life course tool, which I'm sure we can link here somewhere along the way. But you don't even have to do that much. But basically, put some information together, saying things that he liked. These are things that you can talk to my child about. Back when he was young, I'm dating myself, but he liked Barney. So if you wanted to talk to him about the Barney show, he would love for you to do that, and he would want to interact with you on that. And then telling family members in this how to best support them. In my child's case, he only ate brown crunchy things, meaning chicken nuggets, fish sticks, french fries, that sort of thing. As much as I know you would love for him to try that bite of cream pie that you think is lovely, how much stress that is. So writing that in advance, hey, he only eats these things. Please don't ask him to eat other things. It'll just make him unhappy. We would share about if he starts to get tired or if he starts to get aggravated, these are the signs and these are things you can do. Just step away, give him a break, let him go be by himself for a few minutes to decompress and come back together. And I think having all those things written down and emailed, and even maybe have a few printed copies to take to your gatherings and hand it out to folks, gives people the opportunity to read it, to take it to heart. I think that people, when they're trying to, using my example of give them that bite of that cream pie, they're good intention, right? They really want to do something sweet for them, and they often don't understand how sometimes those things cause more stress. And I don't know. I just think it's important if we can write those things down, share them out with family and friends and whomever we go to see, that gives everyone the opportunity to be prepared and learn from each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, the whole planning thing, um, even though even just being able to take the time to write the process down
Yes.
is a challenge, but maybe talking with a friend, this is, what I want people to know. I mean, your friend may learn something along the way, but maybe by you processing it out loud, it'll, remind you of something that your child doesn't like, uh, or anything like that. You know, even though I'm a sibling, up till the day my brother passed away at age 50, um, he was a coffee, soda, and liquid soap fan, right? So because of his behaviors, we removed him from the home and got him into a group home, which turned out it was the hardest thing for my family, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because he learned how to handle his behaviors, his anger, that kind of thing. But he also had obsessive things. So coffee, soda, and liquid soap were his obsession. And so my big memory is whenever I had him over, I hid, yes, HID, hid my coffee, my soda, and the liquid soap in the trunk of my car.
Good
Be-
idea.
it is a great idea. And then, tomorrow we'll be meeting my niece on here. She came up with a brilliant thing that I didn't never even thought of. Instead of having liquid soap, have a bar of soap out.
Yes.
So, I think we can learn and change, as well. You know, I think it's a matter of picking your fights too.
Yes.
Um, and so I'm looking at some of the ideas that people have sent to me. And while you were talking, Tracy, I was thinking, gosh, that would make a quick video on your phone. Hey, this is what
Yes.
Johnny likes. Da, 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 da. I think people have the time to do that. Um,
Absolutely. Send
yeah,
it out
so
to everybody in a great big group text, and frame it with, I know everybody's anxious to make Johnny's holiday the best it can be. Here are some things that we think you should know, in your video, and shoot it out to everyone. And they would be, I'm sure, grateful for that information. And as will you, and Johnny's life will be so much better for it too.
So what do you think about having an exit plan?
I think an exit plan is absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial. And that's even something you could write in your little plan you're putting together or include in your video, saying, and just so you know, if X, Y, or Z happens, or we deem it that we need to leave, it's no reflection on you. It's just how we best take care of our child, our sibling, or whomever. And we're going to go. This will be our plan, and we're going to pack up and go.
Yeah, and to not make a big deal about it. Oh, don't
Right.
go and everything's
Right.
okay. Just go with whatever the
Wish
parent
us
is
a happy
saying is
holiday
best.
and let us go on our way at that point.
And it may,
Absolutely.
yeah, and it may end up a better holiday for the
For
family, your family as well.
everyone. Absolutely.
So,
Yes.
another idea is a tag team. What do you think about that?
I think that that's the greatest thing a gift that we can give our partners and our other family members. Um, just because our person with a disability can't be left unattended, especially at a gathering like that. It doesn't necessarily always mean that both partners have to be involved every minute. And wouldn't it be lovely to do an hour on, an hour off? Like, I'm going to tend to Johnny and be that main person for this hour. And you go and be with your family and friends and socialize and come get me an hour from now and we'll switch, right? That kind of thing. That allows for everybody to be able to enjoy, and nobody comes away feeling as though they got a little cheated on their time with their loved ones. Great idea.
One thing I was thinking of two things. First, I have to write it down or else I'll forget. First thing, how about having a calming room scenario, like where all the coats
Yes,
go?
absolutely. Wouldn't
Mhm.
that be brilliant? Setting that up, making sure in advance everybody that is there knows that, hey, when Johnny gets a little overwhelmed, either he'll go in there or we'll join him in there for a little bit. And when things are better, we'll come back out. No need to check on us 500 times. We'll be out when it's good, just letting people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could set the tone as the family member going to a gathering. Um, I was also thinking about my brother, he had a mental schedule. So when he
Hmm.
came to my house, we kind of did the same thing every time. And because he obsessed about the coffee and soda, I would talk to him, while I'm driving him to my house and saying, okay, Rodney, you can have one cup of coffee before we eat and one cup of coffee after we eat. So, after we eat so that I can be firm with him. And I hated being
Sure.
firm with him, but that was his boundary. That was how he felt safe. And um, so, sometimes I want to make sure the food is almost ready by the time he comes to our house. So you may
Absolutely.
end up saying, hey, what time do you think you're serving the meal? We'll kind of arrive about right before then.
Yes, what a great idea. My child also, he very much works on a schedule, and it's very stressful to him when the schedule doesn't happen as we've laid it out to him. Often I can reorder the schedule if I have enough warning. If, like you say, we think dinner's going to be served at 3, maybe they're a 3 o'clock dinner eater, and we arrive at 2:30, and we get there and we find out, it's delayed, it's not going to be served till 4. If I know that in advance, like right
Mhm.
when I get there, I can start stating, oh, guess what? We're not going to eat at 3. Good news, we're going to eat at 4. But at 3 o'clock, we're going to do this activity. And then at 3:30, this is what's going to happen. And then at 4 o'clock, we're going to eat. Because I can reframe it and set the stage. It's much harder to surprise him and be like, oh, supposed to be ready at 3. Sorry, not going to be ready till 4. Not being able to reframe it and reset that expectation, really difficult for him. So I think that's really good thoughts, Deborah.
Yeah, and, I had one mom say, can I bring a frozen pizza?
Yeah.
There may be lack of oven space, but you know, for the host to be okay with that, or maybe have the suggestion that they like nuggets and mac and cheese and hot dogs. So, um, you know, I know as parents we just come prepared because we know our
Yes.
kid, but
Yes.
I think that's really important. Um,
I have to tell you that that when you said those things, what flashed through my head was me trying to do that once and saying, well, he likes nuggets and Kraft and he likes mac and cheese. Well, I didn't say that he only liked Kraft mac and
Yes.
cheese,
Yeah.
right? So then, I remember my mother-in-law making really nice, like baked mac and cheese. It was
Mhm.
unacceptable. That was, and so I learned that, I need to be more specific, and I need to come with one of those little microwave cups of the mac and cheese that we can put together for him real quick to make his life a lot easier, right? That kind of thing. But I think being that specific and being prepared with alternatives that you can rustle up real quick in situations like that, it's a great idea. And it takes the pressure off the host as well. If they made the beautiful baked mac and cheese that your child deemed to be, not acceptable, saying it's lovely, I'll have 2 helpings. I'm going to go ahead and make this for for Johnny because that's what he eats. Thank you so much. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Really
know,
prepping everybody in advance that please don't be offended because it's not
yeah,
offensive. It's just what makes their life possible. Right.
exactly. Exactly. I think I like that video idea on the phone. I think that's
Yes.
a real good takeaway. I asked a friend of mine who was meeting with several seasoned moms, and she gave me a 10, 10 tips. And, one was let go of expectations and remember there is always wine. Um, and the other thing is, maybe even having the holiday in your home. And we always did that, and my mom did the cooking and the cleaning, plus handling a young son on the spectrum with nonverbal who was an eloper. I
Mm-hmm.
can't imagine the stress she took on, and but having it in your own home, whether it's the accessibility component or because it's familiar, that may be an option. So what do you say about, well, it's always been at grandma's house when we're breaking that tradition. What do you think about that?
I think that having it in your own home can be both. What you said. I think it can be stressful because you're trying to do all the things, right? But also such a comfort and so easy to be able to say, I know that Johnny likes to go downstairs and play his video games when he gets stressed. And we already have a space for him to go and do that where he can go and escape and handle those things.
Mhm.
Um, I think that it would be great to know yourself and know if that's going to be too much, order up potluck for everybody. You don't
Yes.
have to do it all. Just say, this is what we're going to do. I'll make the ham and the mashed potatoes. Everybody else who's coming, please, sign up for what you want to bring and we'll bring it all together and we'll have this dinner that's less stressful on everyone. And I think that we have to be willing to say it's time to go home for you all too. Right.
Interesting.
I
Yes.
think that in part of caring for ourselves and caring for our person with disability, our loved ones, that being able to come to the room and say thank you all so much for coming. Johnny's tired. I think his day is full. We look so forward to doing this again at our next gathering. Can I help you find your coats?
Yeah, my mom used to say, here's your hat. What's your hurry?
That's
Uh,
right. Exactly.
but I
Exactly.
think that's really a point that I never even considered is, I know for myself, with anxiety,
Mhm.
by the time people come, I'm tired. I want to tell them I'm going upstairs, enjoy the party.
Right.
So I guess as I get older, I'm realizing, picking my battles and saying, okay,
Picking
this
your
is what I
battles.
can handle right now. Um, and sometimes we just have to um, disappoint um, a family member if we can't come to their home.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Deborah, you're
And I guess
frozen.
I guess one way you could say it's time to go is have the food ready in the the excess food packed and ready to go. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. I will tell you that is a trick I have long employed. Anytime I'm hosting a family gathering, I also hit the Dollar Tree and buy containers. to send it home in, some of the bigger ones, and
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
it packed. And, after we're done eating, I just kind of, as everybody's visiting, pack it up and put it in the refrigerator. And when I start pulling that back out, because, that means it's time to go, they've learned.
One thing I was thinking about with food, if someone has a peanut allergy, tell the host not to, if, have gluten-free or don't use peanut oil or anything with peanut in it. That's just, that's a health consideration
It is.
to be thinking of, because you may be bringing food for your child, but you never know if they're going to pick up something, and take it, and that definitely would ruin that celebration. So.
Most certainly.
And then one of the other moms said to prep as much of food ahead of yourself, or better yet, order from Bob Evans or Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so okay, let me double check here. Um, uh, some people were saying that, when we go to someone's house, we don't necessarily know, our child doesn't know some of those family members.
Right.
Maybe that's an opportunity with that video. Can you send me a shot of you so I can say this is Aunt Mary?
Right.
Kind of
Right.
get them a little familiar with who's coming, or having a visual schedule. This is what we're planning. Not necessarily have the times in it, but the ideas of what's going on at that time as well.
Absolutely. And helping to set Aunt Mary's expectation that Johnny's not going to want to give her a kiss, maybe. He doesn't know her. We've told him to not let people that he doesn't know touch him or kiss him or whatnot, all these things. And maybe just work on being okay with a wave or a handshake if you're
Or a
lucky.
fist bump.
Fist bump. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they know that one.
they do.
So,
Yeah.
so we have about 8 minutes left. I wanted to touch base with bringing a go bag. What can go in that bag?
Yeah. Oh gosh, what can't go in that bag, right? I definitely think foodstuffs are super important because, like you said, we don't really always know what's going to be there. Comfort items, right? What does your child need if it's a stuffy or a lovey, or dare I say, a video game? And I know that's a little
Mm.
controversial at a family gathering, but sometimes it's what they need. It helps provide a dopamine and a release and a way to focus on something else. And maybe they don't get to play the video game the whole time, but at least have it available for some portion of the time. What
Or
do you think,
them
Mike?
knowing that it's in there.
Yeah,
That's
even just
comfort
knowing that
too.
it's there. Yeah. What do
So
you think?
it could be their favorite toy,
Yeah.
fidgets.
Fidgets.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
if you have a noise headset, noise
Yes.
cancellation headset.
Norris. Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you
Absolutely.
what, that would be, someone had mentioned that would be a great Christmas gift for a
Certainly.
person. And I know we're going to talk about gift ideas in the coming days, but so you can have snacks, water, change of clothes. You never
Change of
know if we're going
clothes.
to have an
Most certainly.
accident or that kind of thing. And I think one of the biggest things, if we're going to pack it with stuff they're familiar with and they love, we need to make sure everything's in that go bag when we leave.
Yes.
Do an
Have it
inventory.
ready. Yes, absolutely. I would even add to the go bag a change of shoes. I remember one time my son dropping a glass of water and it spilling all over his shoes and his feet got wet. And he didn't want to leave because he couldn't walk outside. He couldn't wear the wet shoes, but he couldn't go outside with no shoes.
Mhm.
And it upset him so much. Right. And I thought,
Mhm.
why didn't I just throw an old pair of tennis shoes in that bag?
Yeah. So maybe you need to take two go bags.
Yeah. Throw some in the trunk, whatever.
The other thing I was thinking about, some of our kids have medicines, and maybe we should pack not just for a day trip. Maybe we should pack for two in case you have a major snowstorm or something like that. I think it's probably something that we should do every day anyway. Have in the
I think we
car,
should. We should.
ready.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We never know what could befall us, right? Being a little extra prepared, we'll never regret that.
Yeah. How? Okay. Oh, there's so much to share. Um, the issue of a change in schedule. I mean, that's going to always be our challenge, right? So, that's why I think don't put the times in, um, you know, this is where we're going, this is what we're going to do. Um, and maybe teach your child. I know from my husband and I, if we want to go from a party, leave a party, we have a code look or a code word. So, give that child a code that I need a common room, or I really need to go, or
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, it might be new for some people. Um,
And
oh,
if you go with a partner, really helping them, make
yeah,
sure that both partners are on the same page, that when we say time to go, we understand it's time to go.
it's really
That's it.
time to
It's
go.
not like, well, 20 more minutes, let me finish this hand of poker or whatever it is we're doing as a family. Time to go really means time to go.
Time to go. I also had someone say, don't cancel therapy that's typically done on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Keep it going so you have that consistency. Um, and then I had a mom share anchors. She used the word anchors. She said, your
Anchors,
child
yeah.
can depend on these as a given every day. So plan each day. You have the day, you have bedtime, you have screen time, visual schedule, and a
Yep.
visual timer. Um, so I thought just to keep consistency while they wait to go back to school, or just,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
Anchors were huge in my child's growing up, and even including nap time in there, because he knew that was
yes,
time that, even when he was little, he could be in his crib. He didn't have to sleep, but he was in there from this time to this time,
yeah,
and he could just decompress, sing, think his little thoughts, whatever. And
mm,
he looked forward to it when the time got about right. Even before he was too little, his body knew when times to do things were. He'd start heading for the steps.
yeah. Um, okay. So just a couple more tips on calming while you're at a visit. Take a walk, sit on the
Yep.
porch, go for a drive, or just leave. So,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
just really quickly, we had our youth transition uh, coordinator do a video. It's about 40 minutes that you can see on the Facebook page. Maddie was sharing how smell and twinkling lights and all those kind of things. Again, that's with that video to whoever's house you're going to. Um, but she was saying that plan a next day with nothing to do.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yes, to
Just to
know
recover.
your child knows, they can watch this or whatever all day,
Yeah,
and the parent, there's like no plan, and it may go
great
to
idea.
day 3 or day 4, because we know how stressful that can be. So,
Truly.
um, so anyway, I want to thank you so much, Tracy, for coming and sharing your life experience and your passion to support people um, who are on a similar journey. And
Thank you for having me, Deb. I sure appreciate it.
all right, go take care.
All right. Thank you
Bye.
all. Bye
Bye.
bye.